Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so extra. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is your girl, Miss Honey, and you guys already know why I am here. It is Wednesday, and what do we do on Wednesday? We review our kind of people, our very own black soap opera, and I am super duper excited about this episode. There was just so many little gems and jewels. I'm going to be mildly inappropriate. Sans Dave Chappelle, but it'll be funny, I promise. You gonna say some things, and I'm gonna say some things. That's Jill Scott, but I digress. Listen, this is episode 5. I can't believe we're 5 episodes in. This feels like the 5th episode of the 5th season, actually. And it is entitled The Miseducation of the Negro, which I think these titles are supposed to be like in keeping with the fact that it is a black soap opera. And I think it's supposed to be, sort of like an homage to all things black, which is odd because the whole show premise seems to be wrapped around the fact that rich black people do the same things as rich white people, which is oxymoronic to me because black people don't do nothing like white people. Black people don't do nothing like white people. Like, it is ridiculous, this notion that we want to somehow copy them. I think we know who's copying who, okay? And I think it was a missed opportunity, but to show black wealth in a different light, a more independent light. I'm not sure why everything is comes across as mimicking Caucasians in any way. Yeah, it's odd, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more. And listen, we're still not picking at scabs. We're picking fun at the scabs, but we're not picking the actual scab. I just wanted to point that out because I see that in a lot of black writing. It's like we take the same story and just replace it with black people. And if you don't replace it with the nuances that make us great and wonderful and tell the story of why it is we're so copied. This is the reason why we're so copied, because we do everything a little bit extra, a little bit more special, with a little bit, more. Okay. Is it that way? Anyway, Salt Bay. Okay. Now that I've gone on my diatribe, let's just go ahead and dive into this episode. But before I forget, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to comment down below. And don't forget, if you're new to my channel, I welcome you to subscribe. Okay? Okay. Listen, we're going to start with Leah and Raymond as a couple because we didn't get to see them together or as much of them as we did last episode. So let's just go ahead and knock them out. Y'all know how I do my reviews. I go character by character or I group characters, right? So Leah and Raymond, listen, it's Cotillion week. Y'all know every week when this show appears, they have a new event. It's the summer in the Bluffs, and it's always a party jumping off. This week is Cotillion. All the debutantes come out. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about this whole ritualistic situation. Like, it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. But remember, I'm a GDI, you know what I'm saying? A gosh darn individual, right? Like I don't do all this grouping, pledging, ritual. Anyway, it's Cotillion Week, and of course, it is, you know, the first. It's Cotillion annual Cotillion Week, but it's more importantly for Leah, it's another opportunity to shine. She's got an extra two masks on. Okay, and the facades are up. You know, she wants the servants, she's getting the servants together. I want facades everywhere. Facades, facades, facades. You know what I'm saying? I want to just look perfect. I want Lauren to be perfect. I want them to see us all as perfection. Plus, it's her first year during Cotillion as the president over the Gracities, who sponsors all of these nonsensical events, right? Just throw a party, child. Just throw a party. But every party has to have a theme, and it's Cotillion Week. So we get a chance to see all of them together as a family. Now, the debutantes are going to be coming out, so it's all about Lauren, right? And apparently you're supposed to get a gift. So we see Lauren there, and she's super happy and she is super excited. She gets a horse, a pony, as her gift, and she kicks her shoes off and then runs to the gate and just stands there and pets the horse. I thought she was kicking her shoes off because she was going to jump that gate and get on top of that horse. But I was like, nah, they kept a gate between her and their horse, right? Because we do things a certain way, right? Like, that's all I'm saying. We can tell this Cotillion story all we want to, and we can give our horses, honey. But I'm going to tell you right now, yeah. Oh, okay. So anyway, we do get to see Raymond. Raymond is there. He's still doxing Teddy, and he's texting the ex-wife and asking her what she's found. And we still don't know yet what she's found. She's still working on it, or working on a way to betray him and his family while she do it. Mm-hmm. We see Quincy. He's there. He's still invisible though. We see Granny DuPont is visiting. Olivia DuPont. She's there for Cotillion. Like I said, and Leah's mask is bright and shiny. It is glowing, baby. Well, I tell you, she got a full, okay? She got it all the way down to here, okay? And she is wearing that gingham dress, baby. Later on, we get to see her pouring over the deets of the whole Cotillion situation. She's talking about she's going over the boards and looking at the finances, and it's so much planning and all of this stuff. And she decides she gonna lie Uddle up against Raymond while they in bed. I mean, now he is fine. He is fine. But when I say lie Uddle, because she like to cuddle up against him and lie. She likes to lie in the cuddle, right? Okay, because he asked her about the Legacy LLC. What's going on with that? Somebody may mention that. And this is my first time hearing about that. No one's talking about that. What do you know about it? And she was like, this is my first time even knowing or acknowledging or acting as if I could even remotely know the truth about that situation. But anyway, meet me in the shower in 5 minutes, okay? I'm going to give you something you can feel, okay? And clear your mind of all those pesky details about what my father may or may not be doing to steal your family's legacy and attach it to ours, okay? Raymond don't trust her. He go immediately into that laptop when she go hop in the shower, child. And he see what's going on, but he don't tell us what that is, okay? It's all right. We'll find out next week during barbecue week. Wait, that's a black that's a black event. During mud bugging week. I don't know. What do white people do? Anyway, I digress. We did see some good behaviors from Leah, but she does remind us in and out of scenes with her father that she cannot be trusted, all right? The true legacy of the Franklin family is one of serpents and snakes, All right. So let's pop on down over to where the kids at. Now um Lauren is super excited about Cotillion Week because it's all about her. Okay. And when she saw that horse, it was like she was a little girl again. Oh mama, she's perfect. Talk about the horse, right? Oh mama, she's just perfect. I was like, child, please. Who pushed Taylor overboard? How Taylor get over there in that ocean? Mm-hmm. Trying to act like you a little girl, like you innocent, like you a little child. Selfie. Kiki. I was like, oh, I can't take her. She gonna take a selfie with Quincy with the horse, right? Ain't nobody showed up in the photo but her and the horse, cause Quincy is invisible. But I digress. We see where Nikki is doing well as the face of Eve's crown. She has found out that her college application has been pulled for review, and they have a couple of requirements that they want her to meet, and which includes community service and a host of other things, and also an in-person interview, which means they got to go down to Atlanta because Spelman College is where she wants to go, and sit for an interview. Now, Nikki got a defeatist attitude. That's where she get that turn and run and turn and run, right? She does it a couple of times in this in this episode. She doesn't disappoint. Okay. She's got a real defeatist attitude. For those of us who have children, I do not. But those of us who have children, if you notice that your child is self-defeating, you got to go overboard with the encouragement. You know what I'm saying? You got to reinforce positive feedback and encouragement, right? You cannot send a defeated child out here into this world and think they're going to make something of themselves. They're going to spend the rest of their life turning and running and turning and running, huh? Yeah. Think about it. Teachable moment. Teachable moment. That's all I'm saying. We can learn something from a Bessie Black soap opera. Just saying. All right. Okay, so she's just like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. It's just too much, and they want too much, and if they find out in turns, and she runs out. And Angela commits right then and there that she is going to get Nikki into school. Nikki will be the first person in their family to get a college degree, and so she has committed to herself that Nikki is going to get this done, and she's going to help her do it. We also get to see where after Angela has gone and she has talked with Leah and got the specs about how she can get Nikki to be a part of this cotillion situation, because in Angela's mind, it's going to help her get into college. It's something that she can add to her portfolio, educational resume, if you will, that says I'm a viable citizen and I will be an asset to your college. Now, I don't know why you have to do all that and you're paying for it. I could see having to do all that if you were getting a scholarship, but yeah, I don't get it. But okay, that's fine, whatever. Um, so Nikki gets the opportunity to be a part of the cotillion and be a debutante. So we get to see Nikki at the cotillion rehearsal, and she's learning all about place setting and what that looks like, the expanded place settings and what that looks like. And so they're just kind of teaching them all of this manners and stuff, this Miss Manners stuff. All I can say is Google, TikTok, and YouTube is your friend, sis. All you got to do when you find out you got to participate in the cotillion and you're going to be a debutante, you look up what debutante is, you look up what a cotillion is, you look up what a cotillion ball consists of, and all of those things that go along with that. And that would have told you, ma'am, that would have told you what they do there, okay? And you could have gave yourself a little bit of a heads up. Always remember that, everyone. Okay, somebody invite you somewhere, you ain't got to turn it down because you don't know what it is. Just look it up. Just look it up and inform yourself. And that way, when you get to that event or that meeting or that interview or that situation, you can speak intelligently to things or at least know some things, right? I just don't understand why you would send your child there with no knowledge about what could have taken place. She looks so uncomfortable, child. She looks so uncomfortable. Later on, we get to see her sitting outside, and she is talking to Taylor, and Taylor is telling her, it's okay. You're gonna get all of this, and you don't have to worry. And I thought you did real good in there, and all of this stuff. And she also lets her know she doesn't have to feel out of place. There was a daddy daughter. There's gonna be a daddy daughter dance. Well, Nikki ain't got nobody for the daddy daughter dance, and Angela want to stand instead for the daddy. But I get it; it's admirable. I probably would have danced with her at the rehearsal since she didn't have nobody at the rehearsal, so she could at least dance and practice her dancing. But you being her dance partner at the cotillion needs to be a absolutely positively last resort, right? Okay, the goal is not for your child to stick out like a sore thumb, but to shine bright like a diamond, Angela, right? Anyway, I digress. Like I said, after all of this, uh um Taylor wants to talk with Nikki, and they talking outside, and she kind of tells Nikki that when she see Nikki is like, kind of treating her like they a couple, kind of, they a possible item. You know what I'm saying? They talking. They ain't hooked up, but they talking, right? So she calms Nikki on down with that, right? And tells her she really trying to work it out with Taylor. And she trying to keep it on up with Taylor. She hopes she understands, and she hopes that they can still be friends. But Taylor walk in on the tail end of that, and then gets up, goes across to where they are, and stands behind Taylor and tells Nikki, just slinging arrows at her. It comes across nice, but it's real nasty. Now we call that nice nasty where I come from. And like I said, she is laser focused on shattering her mom's obsession with traditional facades, and she's also laser focused on taking the gleam for Nikki out of Taylor's eye. So she pretends as though she wants to help her in some way, but it comes across patronizing and condescending, and Nikki knows it. Nikki knows it, and no one believes that she is even remotely considering treating Nikki like family at all. So then we get to see another teachable moment from the show, and once again, Lauren humbly speaking about them people back in Boston. Girl, if you don't get yours, okay? If you don't get yours, okay, you ain't gonna be able to help nobody back in Boston, all right? All this humility you trying to give us, all right? I'm not buying it from you, Nikki. But I think this is the writers and the producers and the directors' way of denoting the difference between what's supposed to be the good child and what's supposed to be the bad child, right? Lauren is the bad child, which why they always give her dialogue this nasty, snippy, snarky, demeaning, and meant to minimize somebody, marginalize someone. And they always give like this humble, I want to help people and change the world dialogue to the Nikki character, right? So she's trying on several dresses, and she expresses to her mom that not only are none of the dresses perfect, and it makes her sad to think about all the opportunities she's getting. There's so many worthy people back in Boston where she came from the projects that could benefit for something like this. They could also benefit from the money, that's being spent on all this fool-la-la. But I digress. All right. Nothing wrong with learning where your forks and stuff go, okay? Nothing wrong with any of that. I'm just saying. So she decides none of the dresses are perfect, like I said, and she shows her mom this couture vintage gown from a boutique in town. Now, this gown is a Jacqueline Lowe teachable moment because Jacqueline Lowe designed dresses for Jackie Kennedy. Yeah, Jacqueline Onassis Kennedy, right? She's a black woman, right? So it's a teachable moment. Like I said, we learned something new here. Either way, Angela is off to scoop that dress up. Now, in the back of my mind, I was saying to myself, Angela, don't you go down there and boost them people clothes and end up in the same clink your mama was in. And you know you ain't got no money. I don't know where you getting all this here money from, but we're going to find out a little bit later on that she sold all her mama's dresses out of that room back there. Now, they still walking through a hole in the wall as it pertains to that room. But she was able to get all those delicate gowns out there and sell it. And she got more than enough money to do whatever she needed, including buying this couture vintage gown down at the boutique for Nikki. So later on, when we are at the claiming ceremony, we get, first there was a party, child. There was a party on a party bus. Remember, this is Cotillion week, so it's event after event after event after event. There's going to be a claiming ceremony, but before that, they said all the kids out partying. Taylor's family gets a party bus, right? Because everybody got to show they got a little bit of money. Right? So people throwing parties, they renting party buses, they throwing money around. You know what I'm saying? You got a butler, you get a butler, you get a maid, you get a driver, all of this stuff, right? They on the bus. Nikki's on the bus, and Nikki's like, oh, wow, I can't believe this time last year I was a little snot-nosed delinquent, and now I'm on a party bus, and I'm going to be a debutante. And Taylor was like, just be cool. You're doing good. And woo-da-woo-da-woo. Even though 15 hours ago I told you that I wanted to try to make it work with Lauren and I wanted us to just be friends. You looking so sumptuous and lovely. I'm going to lean in now and steal a little bit of your sugar. Okay? And Nikki was like, cool. So they kissing. Lauren steps on the bus and she sees him and she turns around and walks off. I was like, okay. First of all, Taylor, you giving me whole vibes. You giving me strong whole vibes, right? And the indignation that you showing a little bit later on in the episode made me really want to snatch you up by your big ears. First of all, with your Tevin Campbell looking self, you do realize you coming in between two cousins, huh? You too do realize you playing with both of their feelings. You do get that, don't you? I know. Y'all want to blame it on the coma, but I'm just saying. Right? I'm just saying, you're really giving lesbians a bad name. You and Lena Waithe, okay? You're giving lesbians a bad name, right? Huh? Y'all know Lena Waithe went around there and married a woman, okay, and had us feeling like it was all love and rainbows and gummy bears, and then went out there and cheated on the woman hard. Broke the lady's heart. Huh? It's okay if you feel like a man, but you ain't got to be around here tomcatting like one. Come on, Taylor. Ugh, I don't care for her. She's double-minded and she's divisive. Okay, period. Let's call a thing a thing. Anyway. So later on at the claiming ceremony, the next day, they got on their long blue robes and they lighting candles. Child, it is so ritualistic. Like I would never ever want my child to be a part of something like that, and I wouldn't want to be a part of something like that. To me, it's a little like idolatry. It was giving me idolatry vibes. I don't know. They had these velveteen cloaks on and hoods, and they all walking in with their candles, and there's like this energy in the room. Everybody watching them. They got their little white dresses on, child, and they supposed to be standing up there, and they've written down the school they plan to go to and what they plan on majoring in and how they plan on impacting the world. And then they're gonna drop it down into this little bowl, I guess, to set it on fire or tell the ancestors to get behind them in their dreams, hopes, and dreams. I don't know. It's all idolatry to me. It's all a little devil worshipy to me. I don't care for that kind of stuff. And then they light a candle, So everybody goes. Lauren goes. She tells what she want to do. I can't remember what it was. Basically, she want to keep up her legacy as a serpent. She come from a long line of serpents. Ne'er-do-wells, you know what I'm saying? Jack legs. Your daddy the Black Trump. Your granddaddy the Black Trump. Mm-hmm. Into whom? So it's time for Nikki to speak now. She has already said that she wants to go to Spelman, and Lauren, in hopes to ingratiate herself to Nikki, tells Nikki that she knows the Spelman recruiter that's there, and that she's been trying to recruit me for Spelman since like 10th grade, right? So during the claiming ceremony, she whispers in her ear and she tells her there is the Spelman recruiter sitting over there. And so when Nikki gets up to tell her story, she's nervous, of course, and so is Angela. Angela trying to clap after it. It's like tennis. I had to learn the hard way that you don't clap in tennis. You're supposed to just be quiet. You're just supposed to watch the ball. You know what I'm saying? I think it comes an opportunity when you're supposed to clap, but you can't just be clapping and making noise, because the tennis people got to concentrate. It's kind of like that. Anyway, she goes to tell her story about how she want to take up writing and all of this stuff, and she want to go to Spelman and all of that, and she wants to write novels that change the world. I hope them novels is about climate change. Okay. Infrastructure. World peace. Okay. Oh, novels that change the world. Injustice against African Americans. Like what? I hope you writing laws and bills, baby. You know what I'm saying? Anywho. And everybody's like, oh, wow, novels that'll change the world. That is amazing. What a lovely, lovely job she did. But before she sits down, Lauren stands up there and Lauren says, I just want to welcome my cousin. And I just want to say that she is the epitome of what it's like to pull yourself up out of the muck and the mire and the mud of the ghetto. I'm ad-libbing, but basically this is what it is. Out of the ghetto. And even with her criminal background and and kicking little old ladies down the street, as well as thumping babies on the forehead, she has overcome all of this, okay, to arrive here so that we may treat her as though she is a servant in our own home. I'm so proud of you. Oh my gosh. It was so embarrassing. It was so inappropriate. Like, it was so cruel. So, of course, what does Nikki do? She looks, she turns, and she runs. Okay? It was a terrible moment. A terrible moment. Right? And so, she runs outside, and Lauren chases after her, and it's like, Nikki, wait, because she's still doing this nice nasty. I didn't mean it like that. What I was telling them, that even though you are a delinquent and a former thug and a criminal of sorts, that you were still welcomed in our heart and in our homes. And Nikki was like, what? Why would you do that? How much more do you plan on torturing me? And Taylor's right there too. And she was like, why are you so horrible to me? And why are you doing yada, yada, yada? And finally, Lauren has had it. She says, I know that you've been kissing my girlfriend behind my back. Okay? Huh? And I ain't gonna blame her. I ain't gonna blame her. I'm gonna blame you. Because if you wasn't walking around here with your sumptuous lips, she wouldn't want to kiss them. And Nikki is like, you know about that? And she is like, yeah, you dirty skeezer. And Nikki does what? She turns and she runs off. Oh, I'm devastated. She runs off and Lauren's like, yeah, you scuzz bucket, huh? You chicken head, you scallywag. Run away. And then she turns around and she sees Taylor and she sees how disappointed Taylor the whore is. And she says, I am just trying to express to her that she needs to be her better self, okay? By respecting my lips, aka your lips. Okay? Okay? I'm letting her know. Alright? And she needs to respect that we're back together. And Taylor was like, we are not back together. I have never been so embarrassed of anyone in all my life. Really? Every day when you look in the mirror, you're not embarrassed about pulling and tugging on the heartstrings of these little girls all around the bluffs? But she tell Nikki, we are not girlfriend and girlfriend anymore. I will never be your girlfriend and girlfriend anymore. And now that I think about it, you did push me over the side of that doggone boat and throw me into the ocean. Huh? You wicked witch. Huh? You wicked witch of the bluffs. And she storms off indignant. If you don't get your Tevin Campbell looking self somewhere and sit down, Taylor, huh? Methinks thou dost protest too much, right? Especially since you facilitated all this division between two cousins. But I digress. Child, and that's the whole mess but with the children. Now, I took a long time on the kids, right? Because it's a huge part of why everybody else is interacting and moving around the bluffs like they moving, right? That's fine. Let's go and talk about Angela. Angela wakes up with Tyrique, okay? And they doing their little cuddle and chit chat and talking and stuff, and she asks about them cameras. And he tell her he don't know when he gonna be able to put them cameras back. He don't tell her yet why, but he go on and get dressed and go on about his business with his fine self. Piggy knows about Tyrique, and so does Nikki, because Piggy told her, okay? And Angela is clear and she is very, very decisive about the fact that she wants Nikki to get into college, and she's willing to do anything she can to do that. So she goes to see Leah, and when she goes to see Leah, that's when she found out she got to have $25,000, which is why she sold all them dresses, okay, and why she got the money to buy that couture dress, okay. She got more than enough money from that to pay this $25,000. Now, it's a tender moment supposedly between Leah and between Angela, but it never lasts. They have these little tender moments, but they don't tarry there long, okay? They move in and out of these moments, but we're still getting more and more and more of these moments. I think they're going to build an alliance. I'm not sure, because Leah is still pulling her titty out for her daddy every chance she get, right? And breastfeeding him like he her small child, like he her son. Okay? But I digress. So, anyway, she learned about that 25K. And then we see where Angela, after she learns not only about the 25K, she works that problem out. Then she's met up with the problem that that Nikki don't have a daddy to dance to at the daddy-daughter dance. So she go and ask Tyrique to escort Nikki, which he is more than willing to do. Now, I'm against this because it's your man and not her man, okay? I'm against this because this is your man and not her man. Why wouldn't you ask her cousin? Why wouldn't you ask Quincy, right? Am I the only one that can see Quincy? Is that you don't send a man you barely know to take your daughter nowhere, to do nothing with your daughter. And certainly you don't want to give her the idea that he is some sort of figure in her life when you don't even know nothing about this man. Case in point, she tells him all about Nikki's daddy. Nikki got a daddy, but Nikki daddy in jail. Evidently some time ago, Nikki's daddy was running with some dudes who was robbing and selling drugs and doing all this other crazy stuff. And they ended up, Nikki's daddy's friend ended up shooting and killing the security guard, who I think is going to turn out to be Tyrique's daddy. Okay? Remember, Tyrique's dad was the head of security, right, for Teddy Franklin. But in this episode, we calling him a security guard. But trust me, it's Tyrique's daddy, that Nikki's daddy had something to do with getting killed. Trust me. This is what's happening, right? I saw it 4 miles back when it turned the corner, okay? A mile off. I seen it. All right. So he sympathizes with the whole situation, and he also takes this moment to tell her that he can't put the cameras back in her house because those cameras was ordered there by Leah and her daddy, and he been watching her. He put them in there because he thought that she was a villain, because that's what they was all saying. When he learned out she wasn't a villain, he went ahead and took them out. Of course, she don't want to hear none of that. She was like, "How dare you? You scumbucket." I said, "Angela, girl, that's what I said. That's what I said. How can you be so fine and fugazi all at the same time?" Well, clearly it's possible. She was like, "If you don't get your fine areolas out of here, I know something." He was like, "But wait a minute, I'm trying to tell you." And she was like, "I don't want to hear it, Pex. You get your 6-pack and get the damn it. All I want to see is your calves, your tight, taut, sculpted calves walking away from me right now." I was like, "Go on and do it, girl. Go on and do it. Go on and do it." Then later on, we get to see where she is talking to Nikki, and out of the mouths of babes, Nikki tell her, "You have a problem with forgiving folks. You punished him for telling you the truth, and that ain't right. You ought to give him a second chance." All I'm saying is, Nikki, stay out of grown folks' business. Still, it's the truth, but stay out of grown folks' business, Nikki. You're too grown. See? You're too grown. Huh? You can't be in here talking about, telling me about my business. Like my mom said, I got more common sense in this pinky than you got in your whole body. Huh? Anyway, it was the truth. Later on, she takes her up on that truth, and she goes to him and she talks to him and she tells him, "Listen, I was a little hasty, and I'm sorry for punishing you for telling me the truth. But I've been wounded. I've been hurt a lot. Okay? I appreciate you telling me the truth. All right? She said, the truth of the matter is, I came here because I want to clear my mama's name." No, you came there because your mama left you a building. Okay? And it was opportunity, a financial opportunity. Okay? And then you realized Teddy was your daddy. That's why you came there. Okay? But in the meantime, you discovered that Teddy may have set your mama up. And you know that Teddy may have been the reason why your mama went to jail. And you believe that his daddy, Tyrique's daddy, being the head of security, might know a little bit more about the situation, and you hoping he has some memory, some knowledge as a small child of what his daddy may or may not have known while he was in the bed with Teddy. When I say bed, I mean in cahoots with Teddy and all his waywardness. Of course, he doesn't remember. None of us remember. But he does remember that Teddy's brother Okay, Leah's uncle was an activist, and even though he's dead now, he kept tons and tons of journals, right? And in those journals, may be some clue as to what went on back then, back in the day. But those journals are kept in Teddy's office at his personal home. Okay, and she was like, okay, fine. He's having a dinner tomorrow night, after the reclaiming ceremony. I tell you what, why don't we do this? I'll be your plus one. You can take me in there, and then I can go in there and look through his office and get this information. Well, Tyrique is like, nah. Pump your brakes. Pump your brakes, because if they find out that I brought you, they going to be on to us. And then I'm going to end up with a horse's head in my bed. And you going to end up on crack cocaine back in Boston. Okay, you're going to wake up strung out on drugs, okay? Because they don't play these games, right? By any means necessary, they're going to keep you out of their business, keep you from telling their secrets. Even though she's managed to tell a secret in an episode. But I digress. And she was like, cool. I am family, so I'm going to find a way to be invited. So she goes down to Teddy's office, and, she comes in with her baby doe eyes, and she has a conversation with Teddy, but we're going to talk about that. So later on, during the reclaiming ceremony, Angela takes her $25,000 check, and she gave Leah that check, and it was all balled up like she had been holding it tight to her heart, and Leah grabbed that check and she was still holding it like Leah was like, well, you just barely got it in under the wire. And she was like, It was her pride. Rightfully so, they didn't want to take no money from nobody. But baby, when I tell her it was hard for her to get that check to Leah, for that fool la la, are you kidding me? I wish I would take $25,000 of my hard-earned money, and I'm just starting out a business, and I got a daughter to raise for this crap. Dumb. Straight up dumb. Okay, so, yeah. And she tells her that she's going to be down there at the dinner. That was a little bit of rub into Leah's face, trust me. All right, so let's talk about Teddy, and then we're going to get into this whole dinner situation and reclaiming ceremony. Now, mind you, Teddy is milking this whole Parkinson thing with Leah. He's slick as boiled okra, right? He wants her to have this empathy and stuff for him, so she can overlook all of the treacherous things that he's doing. So she does not focus on the fact that he is leading her down dark trail and being divisive against her and Angela, right? At the same time, Leah is divisive. Okay, let's say this. Teddy don't want her and Angela and Leah getting too close. Well, Leah don't want Angela and Teddy to get too close, right? She don't want Angela and all her fabulousness and wonderfulness to overshadow her in her daddy's eyes. So she's going above and beyond to be like this caring caregiver for her dad. Meanwhile, you got a whole mama down there in the sanatorium. But I digress. So, like I said, he's bilking that whole situation. All she want to talk about is Tyrique and Angela, and the fact that Tyrique done took them doggone cameras out of there. And he tells her Tyrique is loyal as a 12-year-old lap dog child. Every chance they get to slight him, right? Even though all the white people around them are slighting them as black people, they still find time to slight another black person. Slick shade, right? Loyal as old lapdog, child. And if he isn't, I'll put a horse's head in his bed and he know it. And I already had to kill his daddy. Okay? I don't mind, right? Basically, ad-libbing. So, like I said, Teddy's Parkinson's symptoms are accelerating. The doctor gives him this experimental drug out of Europe and tells him that this drug is very, very dangerous. It must be taken strictly according to the prescription. 1 pill every 8 hours. You got it? And Teddy was like, yeah. Every 2 hours, take this pill. The doctor was like, I'm serious. only take one pill every 8 hours. And Teddy's like, yeah. Unless, of course, I see the symptoms aren't subsiding, and then I'll take 2 more. Okay? So 3 every hour, right? Gotcha. Thanks. Angela comes in to see him later on, and he is reading a letter. He reading that letter from over there at the jailhouse because Nikki's daddy done sent him a letter, child. And so he reading this letter. She comes in. He puts the letter down. She comes in with her baby doe eyes, and she tells him, "Listen, I've been upset with you. I must admit that I am still angry with you for how you did Mama and me, and I just want you to make up for how you did Mama and me, and I just hope I can forgive you one day for what you did to Mama and me." And he is like, "Okay. I see your fake sympathy and tears, and I'm gonna raise you an invite to my dinner. How about that?" Huh? Right? Okay. I see what we doing here. Okay, we faking each other out. I'll bite. And he sends her on her way with a handshake, baby, and then goes back to reading that letter. Okay, this is about his 3rd or 4th time reading it, child. He done poured all over it. I'm telling you. They had something to do with killing Tyrique's daddy, and Teddy know about it because he orchestrated it. Dollars to donuts. So let's get down to dinner. And they've had the cotillion. They've had this big blow up, right? Everybody's gone home after this blow up, after Lauren has embarrassed Nikki the way that she did. Okay, and so Angela's at home, and she ain't gonna go to the dinner, child, because the way they treated Nikki, don't nobody treat my child like that. And I'd be doggone if I sit in their house and sup with them and they don't know how to treat my baby, right? And Nikki was like, no, it's time for me to buck up. It's time for me to get a backbone. It's time for me to speak up for myself. Okay, it's time for me to stop turning and running and turning and running. I need to cut that junk out, Mama. Me and you, the only way we gonna cut this snake's head off is if we hold a sword together. You with me, Mama? And she's like, nah. You ain't got to be brave and strong for me. You ain't got to be brave and strong for me, do you? I mean, deep down inside, she want her to be brave and strong. She want her daughter to buck up. Okay. Ain't piggies like them scallywag, them itches, them snitches, them snakes, them serpents, them fork-tongued devils, You go get them, girls. So they go on down to dinner. They both look really, really beautiful when they get to the dinner. Everybody's seated, including Tyrique. So when they come in, they was like, "Oh, our long-lost family, please be seated." And so, like I said, Angela and Nikki determined to fight against Leah and her brood and not be run off, right? So Teddy makes his hourly speech. Y'all know he makes the speech every hour on the hour. He pontificates, and Nikki follows suit. After all, he is her long lost granddaddy. So, I mean, some of it is just in her blood. Okay, and pontificate, right? Nikki follows suit with her pontification, with a pontification of her own. And just as the tiny violin started to play on Nikki's speech at dinner, Lauren shows more of her arts. She still hasn't got enough yet, right? She's that much more pissed because Taylor broke up with her behind it. And when she shows her arts, she gets embarrassed by Leah. Leah tells her, I don't know what's more shameful, the way you acted this whole week or the fact that I raised you to be that way. I was like, technically, if there was no you being a bee, she probably wouldn't be a bee, but I digress. And so, and she sends her to bed without champagne. Off. Go. Get out. Leave. And Raymond backs her up, child. It was a good moment. So, she runs out. Lauren runs out, and then Nikki runs out because, of course, she's gonna give us one last turn and run. But she doing this for the benefit of her mama, because her mama came after her, right? It was just give her mama a reason to leave the table so she can go upstairs and she can get them journals, right? Now, mind you, it's like 65, 70, 80, 90, 200 journals, right? I don't know how she was gonna go through all of them or read them all or take photographs of them all or what, but that's fine. It was teamwork. And so they leave out, and Teddy is sitting there now, and he, who is in charge of the menu, decides that he gonna have them serve soup. Dude, you got Parkinson's. You cannot. I mean, you have to eat your soup differently, sir. Anyway, so in this moment, he's looking at the soup like he's angry that it's soup. He goes to pick that spoon up, baby, and immediately that spoon starts clanking against that bowl, which alerts everybody to the fact that he is having these spasmic moves on with his hand. And Leah runs up and pulls out the titty. Here, take the breast, little boy. Take the breast. And he is like, get away from me. I don't need your stinking help. See, I was just whining and complaining to you like I needed you, and now every chance I get, I'm gonna deject you, right? Because I only need you to make sure that you are being divisive with your sister. I don't need you to be kind to me because I don't like you like that, daughter. I don't like anyone like that, daughter. I am a devourer, daughter. Gets up and walks off, goes upstairs, and he goes to his room. And he takes his pill. And that hand is just a going. He takes the pill, okay, and he looks at that hand, okay, and unfortunately pills aren't like servants, okay, they don't just hop to, right? It ain't calming down fast enough. So he dumps that pill bottle out and he takes another couple of pills, baby. Okay. And then he goes over to the mirror and he gives himself a pep talk about how he is not going to be defeated. He's not going to let this beast defeat him and defy him. He'll be doggone. Get it together. I will speak to all the blood cells and the nerve endings in my body, and I will say, blood cells and nerve endings, do you not know that I am the great Teddy Franklin? I won't have it. Everything calms down by this time because he has over-medicated himself, and he goes to the door and turns the doorknob, right? The whole time he is in there, we see Tyrique and Angela in the office where the book's at. And he telling her, what's taking you so long? And she was like, I can't find the books. No, he was in there looking at photographs, okay, being distracted from the game plan. He goes down there and gets 2 journals and was like, I'm not going to take them all because hopefully he won't notice these 2 are missing. And plants them on himself. And they leave out of there. Now Teddy is in there and he goes to the door and he is proud of himself that he has spoke to his blood cells and nerve endings and told them what to do. And just as he turns the doorknob, he is like, oh, I feel just kind of slightly, he clumps down at the end of the door on the floor. And you can see his face up underneath the door. Now, clearly, this was a dressing room door and not your regular standard door that be in homes, because those doors are flush to the ground, basically. Okay, dressing room doors sit this far off the ground where you can see somebody's whole face when they laying on the floor at the foot of the door. And he sees Tyrique's feet and he sees Angela's feet outside the door, and Tyrique's feet and Angela's feet are conspiring against him, and he sees it all and he hears it all, and then the episode goes up. It's hilarious. I know. And what's so funny is that, believe it or not, the show is actually getting good. Like, I'm allowing myself to really enjoy it. Oh my gosh. I forgot to talk about Olivia DuPont. Listen, Olivia DuPont apparently owns the country club that's there, right? And I guess they play golf, they shoot guns and all this stuff. This goes back to what I was saying about why we always got to show ourselves when we show ourselves as rich and wealthy. Why we always got to show ourselves doing some of the same stuff white people do. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Not saying that we don't shoot guns or ride horses or do any of these other things. Of course we do. Of course we do. But you know what I'm saying? We do it our special way, right? We don't mimic them, they mimic us, right? But anyway, another teachable moment, she talks about who the country club was actually named after. This conversation is facilitated by the fact that there were some Caucasian men in front of them that were shooting, and they turned and walked off, and under their breath, not really, they kind of said it out loud so everybody could hear. What they were talking about. It's a good a place to shoot range. It's a good country club, but there's a lot of unsavory sorts. It's too much darkness in the area, right? And so she don't care. They don't care because the country club was named after a guy named Simpy or Simpleton, something like that, child. And he was supposed to be the one that after they did all the shooting, he would go run out and collect the ducks. And he was belittled, and they looked down on him, and they called him a runner or something because he had to run out there and get the dead ducks. But unbeknownst to them, he would take them dead ducks and he would put them in the woods, and then take them later on and sell them. Okay, and he was able to save up some money and I believe buy the country club, right? This must have been somebody that was kin to her. Anyway, it's a good story. Basically, what she was saying was the reason why they're even allowed there unbeknownst to them, these white folks, is because she charged them $2,000 a day to shoot, to have the privilege to shoot at her club. And so it ain't about what they got to say to her in her mind. It's about the fact they can say whatever they want to say about black folks, but these black folks is making money off of you, right? It's a good moment, but at the same time, you can take your $2,000, okay? You can choke off of it. Come out your neck wrong at me. Okay. Anyway, she makes a comment about she charging them $2,000 a day. And next week she gonna charge them $3,000 a day. Right? They can do whatever they want to. But they gonna pay me, basically. So it's a good moment. Later on, we do get to see Olivia giving what for to Dad burn Leah. She got something nasty to comment to say about everything Leah do. About how she handling the debutante ball. And she's kind of the same way with Raymond, but it's more to make Raymond stronger. Because Raymond wants to have a conversation about the Legacy LLC. And she was like, son, I wanted to know. I was wondering when you was going to realize this was a war. Okay? And govern yourself accordingly. And he was like, yeah, mama, I know. And I got my ex on it. She was like, please do not get your ex involved. I promise you, we definitely need to go to war, and we definitely need to handle this Teddy situation and get our company back from this fool. She said, but we don't need your ex-wife help. Do you have any idea how long it took us to get that thorn out of our financial side? Do you understand that? She was a financial thorn in the DuPont's family side. Okay, and it took us years to yank her out, but it's too late, and he lets her know it's not up for debate. I've already set wheels in motion to get her to investigate. And later on, like I said, when she goes to see Leah, she got words of battle for Leah too, but it's against Leah. It's meant to bring her down a peg or two, make sure she don't get too ahead of herself. Okay, all right. I let you marry my fine A son. All right, that don't mean you accept it. Just letting you know. And I know the fact that you got your daddy sucking off your teeth. Okay, I know that. I know you keeping my son ostracized. You taking sides over my son with your daddy. Okay, so every chance I get to zing you, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna zinx you. Okay. Okay, and Lauren comes in and she's got her dress on, and it's just as plain and ugly and simple as all the other white dresses that was at that event, child. I don't know whose idea was that, but okay. So, like I said, she stands 10 toes down and flat-footed on every inch she shade. When it comes to them white folks down there at that club that she own, when it come to her son and the fact that he need to go straight war dracarys on Teddy and Franklin Financials, okay, on the fact that her daughter ain't as so such and much as she thinks she is, okay, and the fact that her granddaughter need to put her breasts up and at least look like you halfway decent, okay, flat-footed, 10 toes down, solid, standing there, unwavering, okay, a hurricane couldn't blow her over, but Lauren saying she gonna get Taylor to escort her to the cotillion, and that she gay. Knocked Miss Olivia dead off her feet, baby. She said, They had to help her up. I was like, girl, I thought you was a tough piece of leather. You hear 3 words. She said, gay as in happy, cheerful. She was like, gay as in I like girls. I kissed the girl and I liked it. Oh. I was like, chill. You don't buck up. Listen, Miss Olivia is a gift and a curse, okay? She's a strong matriarch, baby. When I tell you she is a venomous piece of work. A venomous piece of work. She snatched her hand away from Lauren like Lauren had leprosy. I said, child. Y'all need to get her some sleepy time tea and put her right over there with with Mama Rose. Leah took the opportunity to defy Mama Olivia and and take Lauren's side and tell her yes, she can have Taylor take her. Olivia was like, how dare you? Listen, I like Olivia character. I like Piggy character. I really would rather them bring all of the older characters in and let them fight. Baby, I bet you that will be a fight to the death. I want to see Piggy tell Olivia off. Now that, to me, will be a squabble. Anyway. Not homosexual. Okay, you guys. Tell me what y'all thought about this episode. And of course, my review. Of course, it was more detailed and drawn out than the actual show. But I think it was enjoyable. Y'all tell me what you think. Put it down below. And until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I holla.